Greetings from the Pampas of Argentina. Woo! Woo! Here out in the grasslands, some of the most productive grasslands on planet Earth are here in the Pampas of Argentina. I bet you never even heard that damn term, pampas, have you? Well, let's learn about pampas and grasses and all things in a global context when it comes to vegetation. Yeah, grassland, let's do it. Why am I so excited about being in the Pampas? Because the Pampas are not only the most productive area agriculturally of Argentina, but probably the most productive breadbasket of the entire southern hemisphere. And we're right here in the heart of this sucker, and I love it. It's back to nature full on, but a manicured nature, a nature that has been tamed and modified by man to produce lots and lots and lots of food. But let's talk about grasslands first, and then the Pampas of Argentina second. And here comes the sun. Woo! All right, let's do this. When am I talking about grasslands? Because you already see some trees, so you're like, this Boyer guy is smoking something, probably smoking some mate here in Argentina because I see trees. Grassland, the definition of grassland is any landscape, ecoregion / biome that is dominated by grass. And it can be short grass or it can be tall grass. But the grasses are 80, 90, 95 or 100% of the vegetation that's dominating the landscape. Now, as you can see, yeah, there's some trees here and there. The trees that you see in this landscape are the product of one or two things. One, they're along streams or rivers. You heard it, Cal, I hear you over there. They're along a stream or river that will have enough moisture to support them. Or two, are planted by humans along fields to be windbreaks quite intentionally. So all of the trees you see in this landscape are one of those two things. But 95% of the landscape that you're seeing are grasses. And it doesn't look like it right where I'm standing right this second, because you're like, oh, this is short grass area. Actually, the inner Pampas here are full-on tall grass areas, meaning they can support grasses that'll go 2, 3, 4 feet high. Grasses like, yeah, regular old grass you mow in your front yard, I suppose, but productive grasses that you are more familiar with, like wheat or barley or even corn. That's right, corn is a grass, I'm pretty sure. Those are the grasses that we like. And these areas are dominated by that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about grasses worldwide. What makes for a grassland? It's again, an area predominated by grasses, rushes, sedges, and herbs. That's right, it can be a whole area that herbs are dominated by, okay? But not trees. Trees are fairly rare. And grasslands can occur actually all over planet Earth, and they do. It's not so much temperature affected as precipitation affected. So you can have tropical grasslands, but mid-latitude temperate grasslands, and we're in a classic mid-latitude temperate grassland right here in Argentina. Now, the rough formula I'm going to give to you to make you understand what's happening in grasslands is that if you have zero precipitation, like zero, it doesn't rain or snow, none, then nothing will grow. That's a desert. Less than 10 inches of precipitation a year, that's usually desert. Once you get above 10 inches of rain a year, it will support short grasses. Short little grasses. The more precipitation you add into an environment, the higher the grass can get. So just over 10 inches will get you short grass. 10 to 20 inches will get you short grasses. More than 20, 25 inches, taller grasses. It's real easy to think about it. The more you water the area, the taller the grasses can get. And so most grasslands on planet Earth get somewhere between 20 to 35 or 40 inches of rain a year. Once you get to 35 or 40 inches of rain and higher, hey, that's enough moisture to support big-ass plants like trees. So you can only have forests in areas that get enough precipitation to support that big-ass vegetation. Back to grasslands. Any place that has the right conditions of temperature and the right precipitation regime, which is about 20 to 35 inches of rain a year, will support short or tall grasses. And these things happen in tropical areas and places like the savanna. Oh, the savanna of like Africa. Those are like tall grass areas, and they get just enough rain to support a tree or two here and there. So savannas are shorter tall grasses with sporadic trees, and that's where lions and tigers and hippos and rhinos hang out in the African savanna. But also Brazil has large areas of savanna. Taller, mid-range to taller grasslands with sporadic trees, okay? But we're talking full-on just grasslands. And in the Pampas here, this gets enough moisture to eat tall grasses, as I've already pointed out. Midwestern United States is mostly grasslands. The Great Plains, you've heard of that. That's mostly grassland regime / ecoregion. Some of it's short, some of it's taller. Some of it grows corn, some of it's just for cattle ranching. Most of Eurasia, a belt from the Ukraine all the way over to Inner Mongolia, is mostly grasslands. So mid-latitude, tropical grasslands are everywhere, and it's particularly these taller grasslands that can get very agriculturally productive. Particularly central United States, the Midwest, the Great Plains, and the Pampas of Argentina. Boom, boom. These are areas that get enough precipitation to grow enough tall grasses, and tall grasses again, like barley, like wheat, like corn, and to support cattle ranching and sheep ranching and goat ranching pretty much year round. Very agriculturally productive. In the United States, you have this area from say, fringe of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, the Dakotas. Those are areas that can grow tall grasses, and as you proceed westward, it gets less and less precipitation. So it goes from tall grass in, say, Kansas to shorter and shorter grasses as you get to the deep west, to the big, full-on Great Plains before we hit the Rocky Mountains. That same phenomena occurs here in South America. The Pampas here, just outside of Buenos Aires, in fact, Buenos Aires itself is part of the Pampas. Southern Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, northern Argentina, this is the Pampas. A long, tall grass, extremely productive tall grassland that can support all sorts of awesome agricultural production, okay? But as you proceed southward from here, just like you went, say, from Ohio westward in the United States, if you proceed from Buenos Aires southward, same phenomena. If you go south from here, it starts to get less and less precipitation and a little bit cooler. So as you go away from Buenos Aires southward, less precipitation means shorter and shorter and shorter grasses. So even though there's cattle ranching and stuff around here, and the gaucho culture, the cowboy culture, you have gauchos in South America, just like you have cowboys in the American Midwest, yes, to support that cattle ranching whole culture. As you go proceed south here, less rain equals shorter grass equals more grazing with animals, less agricultural production. By the way, BTW here in Argentina, extremely rich in not just wheat and corn, beef. Argentina is a huge beef exporter. Sheep and wool, big on that. Tobacco, probably cotton. These are all awesome Pampas products. Same goes for southeastern and midwestern United States. Starting to feel this vibe about why grasslands are so important. Back to here in the Pampas. I'm in the Pampas. Keep going further. This is the humid Pampas, okay, that I'm in right now. Keep going south, you get into the semi-arid, shorter grass Pampas, mostly just cattle grazing. Keep going further south than that, and you get into true-on, full-on Patagonia, another great geographic term. The whole southern kind of triangle of South America is Patagonia, an area that gets even less rainfall, and it's going further and further south towards the pole, so it's harsher climatic conditions. It gets colder and colder and drier and drier. Parts of Patagonia are full-on desert, and type of desert that's not even grassland, it's more like lichens and moss and crap. And you go far enough south and it turns into ice and glaciers and crap. So that's the whole spectrum of what's going on here in southern South America, from the Pampas all the way through Patagonia to Tierra del Fuego, the tip of the South American continent. How you digging that? So dig this, grasslands extremely productive worldwide, especially the temperate mid-latitude ones, more productive than even say the tropical ones, like say in Brazil or tropical Africa. And Why, now to finish up, is this particular grassland so freaking awesome here in Argentina? Two different factors, one I've already covered. Gets enough rainfall and it's temperate enough that it gets rainfall year-round and temperatures are right year-round, and the soils are extremely rich so that you can actually double crop here. So they're producing stuff here pretty much year-round. Crop rotation of wheat, barley, corn, sheep, cattle, they're producing year-round. But on top of that, factor number two that's awesome about the Pampas is that we're only about an hour away from Buenos Aires, one of the biggest ports, one of the biggest cities in South America, and one of the biggest port facilities in the southern hemisphere, which means geographically we're in great proximity to where you export everything. You put two and two together and you have awesomeness. An extremely verdant, rich land that can produce tons of agricultural stuff that's really close to a major port that you can export it out to the rest of the world. That's why the Pampas, the Pampas is so freaking awesome for Argentina, but also one of the most productive bread baskets of the entire southern hemisphere, and indeed one of the most richest agricultural areas of the world. Welcome to the Pampas.